Hello everyone, I'm Alicia. For this tutorial I'm going to make a beaded pendant using materials from the dollar bead box, and I'm actually going to be doing two different pendant tutorials using beads from November 2017 dollar bead box. This one here is smaller and it's not as difficult, it's easier. The other one that I'm working on, it's bigger. It is a little more difficult, and oh my gosh, is it gorgeous. It looks vintage to me. I would show you what it looked like, but I had to take it apart because I'm going to try to film that pendant next if I still have time in the day. So this pendant here is kind of unusual. I almost didn't make a video on it. I don't know what made me think of this, but what I did is I beaded onto this flower pendant here, almost like this was a cabochon, and I bezeled it. It seems kind of strange, but when you see the end product, I think you'll like it. It's really pretty. It's very different, and I had to take it apart and remake it several times. I wasn't happy with it, and I almost gave up making it. And then I showed my mom and my sister and asked them if I should bother doing a video on it, and they're like, yes, that is awesome. I love that. So I kept playing with it, and I got it just right. So I'm really happy with it, and I'm going to show you guys how to do this pendant today. So here is the list of materials. I am using 5 feet of 8-pound fireline. You can use 6 if you want. I'm also using a size 10 beading needle, and I'm addicted to these tulip beading needles. They seem pricey. I've been using them ever since I bought them, and I don't want to use any other needle. They don't bend really bad like other needles do, and they don't break, which is a huge problem that I had with the John James needle. They always broke on me. I hate those needles. But the tulip beading needles do not break, and when you bend them, they bend right back. They're awesome. You're also going to need some beads, and all the beads I'm using, except for the seed beads here, these ones are mine, but all of these here are from the dollar bead box. The only thing that's mine are the seed beads and the fireline. So for the beads, you will need to use 10 5mm Czech fire polish beads, and these are a sapphire with a pink lining. They're really pretty. And you're also going to need 10 3mm Czech glass rondelle beads, blue. These are really cool. I'm also using these in the other pendant that I will be making. You're also going to need 25 3x5mm Czech glass rondelle beads. This is the pink color. I love these. They're so pretty. And you will also need 25 4mm Czech glass fire polish beads. This is the royal purple metallic. These are from the dollar bead bag. And I'm using the 25 of the 3mm Czech fire polish beads, and this is clear. Now, these were strung on this strand here with these roller beads. They were kind of like spacers, and I tried using this in this project, but it didn't work out. But these here, the 3mm Czech fire polish beads that were spacing these beads out, they work great. So I will be using these beads from that strand. This was in the dollar bead box. I'm also using 11 seed beads in this Labrador color. These are Miyuki. And I'm using this pendant here, which is a 28mm pewter flower pendant, and all of this stuff you can find on the dollar bead box. If you aren't subscribed to them and you don't get November 2017 bead box, you can go on their website and see if they still have this stuff in stock to make this pendant. So this is the list of materials. Remember, I always put the list down there in the description bar. And I think that's it. Let's get started. So the first thing we're going to be doing is making the back of the flower, and then I'll make the sides, and then I'll make the top. So I'm going to start by picking up a 4mm Czech fire polish bead, the 3mm Czech rondelle bead, and then another 4mm, another rondelle, another 4mm, rondelle, another 4mm rondelle, another 4, and a rondelle. So looking at this, I have 5 4mm and I have 5 3mm Czech rondelles. Okay, I'm going to slide all of these down And we're going to make a circle, and I want to leave a 6-inch tail because I always like to come back and reinforce this. So let's see here. So right here is about 6 inches, so I'll hold it like this. I'll pass my needle through all of these beads, just like that, going in a circle. Okay, just like this, and I'll check one more time. I could scooch this down some. Okay, that's good enough. So now I have this circle, and I have to tie a knot, and I'm going to tie a surgeon's knot. So I'm going to go over and under, bring that down, and then over and under twice, and bring that down. Okay, so now I have this circle. So I'm going to take my thread and I'm going to pass under the Czech fire polish bead. Okay, and my knot, it goes inside of that bead. It's hidden. Okay, so now I have this. So I'm going to pick up a 4mm, a 3mm Czech fire polished, and a 4mm. Okay, I'm gonna pass through this bead here and through the rondelle. Pull this through. Okay, so I now have this. Now I'm going to pick up a 4mm and the 5mm. I'm going to pass through this here, so I'm coming out of this bead, I'm passing through this one and back through this one, and then I'm repositioning my needle by passing through that one there. Okay, so pull your thread through, and now you should have this. So now I'm going to do this part again right here. So exiting out of this bead, I have to pick up a 4mm and a 3mm. I'm going to pass through this one, the one that I'm coming out of, and then through that rondelle right there. Okay, so pull this through, and we should now have this, and I need to pull this tight. Okay, so this is what we have. Now I'm going to do this part again. So I'm going to pick up a 4mm and the 5. Coming out of the rondelle, I'm going to go back through this bead and then through that one there. Okay, so these 5mm are going to be the points on the back of our flower, which is kind of a star shaped. See that there? It's going to be like that. Okay, so now I have to do that clear bead again over here. So I'm going to be picking up a 4 and the 3mm clear. Exiting out of here, I'm going to pass through this bead, through that one, and out the rondelle. Sorry, I'm getting caught on my drawer on my desk. Okay, so now I have this, and I'm going to do this part again. So coming out of the rondelle, I'm going to pick up a 4mm and the 5. This is my tail, so I don't want to get you confused. So that's my tail that I left. I will be tying that in later. This is my working thread. Okay, I'm going to be taking my needle and passing through this bead that we just added, through the rondelle, and through this one here, repositioning my needle to add more beads. Okay, and again I need to pull this tight. So now I have 3 points. I'm going to pick up another 4 and a 3. I'm going to pass through these beads here, the 2 4mm and the rondelle. Now I have this. I'm going to do another 5mm right here. So I'm going to pick up the 4 first and then the 5. I'm going to pass through this bead, through this one, and then through that one there. Okay, that's what we have now. I'm going to pick up another 4 and a 3mm. Coming out right here, I'm going to pass through these 2 beads and then through the rondelle. And while I'm at it, I'm also going to pass through this one. Okay, so now I have this. So I'm Xing out of this bead. All I have to do is pick up a 5mm because I have this one already here for me. So I'm picking up my 5, pass through this 4 and through the rondelle. Just like this. Okay, and I also have to pass through this bead here. So now we have the base of our flower complete. Okay, now that we have the base complete, what I'm going to do is take my needle, it's Xing out of this bead, I'm going to pass through the 5mm, okay, through this bead, and then I'm going to pick up a rondelle, a clear 3mm, a rondelle, a 5mm, a rondelle, a 3mm, and a rondelle, just like this. I'm going to pass back through this bead, making a circle. Okay, just like this. I'm going to take my needle and go through this rondelle. So now I have this. Okay, I'm going to pick up a 3mm Czech fire polish bead and the pink rondelle. I'm going to pass through this one and through this one here. Okay, just like that. Pull it tight. This tail here is kind of getting in the way. Okay, so pull it tight. I now have this. So now what I'm going to do, let's see, which direction should I go? If I go that way, I'll go this way. Okay, so I'll pass through this 3mm, then I'll pick up 2 more 3mm, and I'm gonna go through these 2 just like this. Okay, then I'm gonna go down through this one. Okay, pull that snug, and now I have to pick up a rondelle, a 5mm, a rondelle, and my 3mm, and a rondelle, just like this. Okay, coming out of this bead, I'm gonna go around and pass through this one and through this one, and actually while I'm at it, I'll also pass through this one here. Okay, so now I have this. I'm going to take my needle and pass through these 3 beads. I'm going to go up through this rondelle here, okay, because I have to repeat that part there. So I'm going to go through the 3mm, through that rondelle, and while I'm at it, I'll pass through that bead there. Okay, now I'm going to pick up a rondelle and a 3mm, just like this. I'm going to pass through this rondelle and through this 3mm. Okay. Now I have this. Pull it tight. I'm going to take my needle, go through this rondelle. I'm going to go through these two here. Pick up two 3mm and pass through both of these. Come back through here. I'm going to flip this over like I'm working backwards. Okay. Pass through this one, and through this one. Those 3 beads. Okay. So now I have this. Xing out of here, I'm going to pick up a rondelle, a 3mm, a rondelle, my 5mm, and a rondelle. I'm going to pass through this bead, that bead, and that bead, through those 3 there, okay? Making a circle. I now have this. Now what I have to do is pass down through this rondelle because I can't go straight in that direction. It just wouldn't make sense. Okay. Now I'm going to pick up a 3mm and a rondelle, and I'm going to pass through this 3mm here and through this rondelle. Okay, then I'm going to go through this one right there that I just added. I'm going to pick up two 3mm and pass through these 2. Okay, I'll also go through these 2 here. And let's see, I have 1, 2, 3 done. Okay. When I get to maybe my 4th or 5th, I'll add that flower inside. Okay, so now I am here. I'm going to pick up another rondelle because I'm right next to that bead. And then I'm going to pick up a 3mm and a rondelle and my 5mm and a rondelle. I'm going to pass through the 3, the rondelle, and through the 5. Just like that. I'm going to pass through this rondelle, pick up a 3mm and a rondelle, and I'm going to go through this 3mm and through the rondelle. Man, I keep getting caught on my desk. It's driving me crazy. Okay, just like this. I'm going to go through this top one. I'm going to pick up two 3mm and pass through these 2. Okay, and then I'm going to go through the rondelle and through the 5mm. Okay, so let's see, I'm going to stop and put this in. This is going to slide into those big holes right there. So just like this. It's going to slide in. Okay, so I'm right here. That's what the back looks like. Right here I am. I have to pick up a rondelle, a 3mm, a rondelle, my last 5, and a rondelle. I'm going to pass through this 3mm and the 5. Okay, just like that. I'm going to come through, I'm mixing out of this rondelle, I'm going to go through this 5mm. Okay, I'm going to go through this pink rondelle. I need to stop and tighten this up. Okay, just like that. I have to pick up my check, my 3mm check bead that goes right here. I'm going to pass through this pink one, and then through this one on the top. Turn it, I have to pass through this rondelle, and I'm going to pull this tight because it's loose. Okay, so just like that. Now I have to go through this 3mm on the top. I'm going to go down the side here. I'm going to pick up one 3mm and put it right here. So fill this in, I'll have 4. So then I have to sew back through all of these again. Come out up here. Okay, and let's see, I'll go through this check bead. Okay, so pull this tight. Right now it's loose, but when I do the top, it's going to pull it all in. So this is what it looks like so far. This is the back. This is what your sides should look like. Looks good. Okay, I'm going to fix my desk so it stops doing that, getting caught, and I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. So I'm coming out of this rondelle right there. I'm going to pick up one pink rondelle, and I'm going to come in through this one, and I'm going to go around and make a circle. So through this rondelle, through this clear 3mm, and through this rondelle that I'm Xing out of. Pull this through, and it should sit right there. Now of course we have to come back and pull that tight so it looks like that. The next thing I'm going to do is pick up a 4mm check fire polish bead, my 3mm rondelle, and a check fire polish. I'm going to pass through this rondelle, through this clear, and through that pink bead right there. Okay, let's see here. Pull this tight. So now I have this, and this is wanting to stand up, and the point of the seed beads is to make that stop doing that. So once I get all the way around, I'll add the seed beads. That will be the finishing thing that I do to make this lay right. Okay, so I have this. Now I'm over here. I'm going to add another pink rondelle. So again, I'm going to pass through this rondelle, through that clear bead, through the rondelle, through 3 beads, just like that. And again, I have to pull this tight. Okay, just like that. That's what we have. Now I'm going to do a 4mm, my 3mm rondelle, and the 4 coming out of here. I'm going to pass through, I'm skipping over this 5mm, I'm going to go through this rondelle, and through the clear, and through the next one, just like that. Okay, pull it through and see how it sits on top like that. And now I have to do the rondelle again. So before I do, I want to pull this tight. So far it looks pretty good. Oops, I just dropped that on the floor. I'll be back. Okay, actually it didn't fall on the floor, it landed on my chair, but I got it. That's what's important. Okay, so I got the bead. I have to put it right here, so I'm going to go through this rondelle, through the 3mm, and through the rondelle. Just like this. It should sit right there. And you want to pull this tight every time you do that, because that thread there is exposed. And we need it to be a triangle shape, so that's what it's supposed to look like. Okay, now I'm going back to the 4mm, so I'm going to do one of these, my rondelle, and another 4mm. Coming out of this rondelle, I'm going to go down through the next one and through these 3 beads. Pull this through until it sits like that, and then pick up another rondelle, Coming out of here, I have to go back through these 3 beads, just like that. Okay. And pull this tight again. Okay, just like this. And look at those bad beads standing up like that. They should be laying down. Okay, I'm going to pick up another 4mm, the rondelle, and a 4mm. I'm coming out of this one. I have to go in through this rondelle, the 3mm, and the next rondelle. And that's what we have now. I'm going to pick up my last rondelle. It has to go right here, so I have to pass through these 3 beads. And pull this tight. Just like that. Okay, so I have this one spot where I have to add the 4, the 3, and the 4mm beads. It's going to go right here. It's coming out of here. My thread, I'm going to pass through this bead. Just like that. I'm going to go through this clear rondelle. Okay. Through this rondelle. That's not a clear rondelle. It's a clear fire polish bead. There's so many different names. It's hard to remember them these days. Okay, so I went through this one, and now I'm going to go through this rondelle on the top. Okay, just like that. Let's pull this all tight. Now, these beads, they want to fight me. They want to stand up, but it just does not look right with them standing up. It looks weird to me. You might not see it because of the camera, but in real life, it just does not look right. I need them to lay down. So, what I do is I kind of make them lay down. You want the rondelles to pop up. They're going to pop up, and the Czech fire polish are going to be laying down. Okay, just like that. See how much better that looks? Okay, I'm coming out of this rondelle right here. I'm going to do the seed beads now. I'm going to pick up 2 11/0 seed beads. Coming out of this rondelle, I'm going to pass through this 5mm. Okay. Gosh, I've never got caught on a tail as much as I have in this video. So there they are. See how they're making those lay down? I'm going to do it again. Pick up 2. Coming out of this 5mm, I'm going to go into this rondelle that's on the top there. Pull that through. See that? How awesome is that? Okay, pull it tight, and this is what you should have. I'm going to do it again. Make those lay down. Pick up 2 11/0s. I'm going to pass through this 5mm. Oops. This little pendant has nice weight to it, by the way. Okay, just like that. I'm going to pick up 2 seed beads again. Coming out of this 5mm, I'm going to go into this rondelle. Just the rondelle. Carefully don't catch any other beads. And pull this tight. Okay, so see from the side here how they're sinking in the center? It looks good. Okay, I'm going to lay those down. Sometimes I have to come in here with my needle, grab this rondelle, lift it up, because it makes it lay down better. So I'm picking up 2 seed beads. I'm going to go through this 5mm rondelle, or not rondelle, Czech fire polish. Pull that tight, and 2 seed beads again, and then through the rondelle, just like that. And I think I'll zoom in. I'm kind of far away. Okay, 2 seed beads. Lay these down. Coming out of here, I'm going to go through these 5mm. Pull that tight. 2 seed beads again. through this rondelle, 2 seed beads, and through this 5mm, and 2 seed beads, and through this rondelle, and also go through the 11 seed beads. Okay, so this is what I have. It turned out really nice, and look from the side. Do you see how much thinner this looks? Because those beads are laying down in there. And if you look, you can see the petals of the flowers right here on the side. Just a little peek of them. It turned out pretty nice, and I'll show you guys the back here. Do you see the back? How the back is sunken in? It was not like this. These clear 5mm right there, those 5 that I added, those are making this sink in. When I first made this, the back was puffed out. It was driving me crazy. I kept pushing it in, but it just kept coming out. So the last thing I did to make it stop doing that is I figured that I needed to put a bead right there. Those little 3mm clear beads. And I put them in, and it stopped that. It wants to go in now. And it stays in. It does not puff out. It looks really good. I'm happy with it. I probably took this thing apart like 10 times and put it back together before I was happy with it. But that's what it looks like. It's really pretty. So now we have to tie our knots. Alright, so I think I'm going to tie my knots up here through these seed beads, the rondelles, and the 5mm Czech fire polish beads that I just added. So I'm going to go through a couple more beads before I start tying knots because I don't want this to get loose on me. Okay, I'll pass through these 2 here. Okay, so it seems like it's tight now and it's not loosening up anymore. So I'm going to tie knots. I'm going to take my needle. I'm coming out of these seed beads. You want to come out of the seed beads. And I'm just going to pass underneath of them like that. Okay. Make a loop. And I will pass through the loop 2 times. Okay. Slowly bring that knot down so it doesn't get messed up on us. And then pass through this 5mm into the 2 seed beads. Pull that tight, the knot pops into the big bead, and then I'm going to do it again. I'm going to take my needle, go under these 2 seed beads, catch that thread. Okay, and I actually want my thread to be between these 2 here. So just like that, make a loop, pass through the loop twice, bring that down. Now I'm going to pass my needle through the rondelle, the 2 seed beads, and tie another knot. So I'm going to go all the way around this, reinforcing it, and tie knots. Now for the back, you want to take the needle, when you're done with the front, take the needle off, put it onto the back, and you're just going to go around here and reinforce these. It will be too hard to tie knots in here because it's sunken in. So what I would probably do is pass through this bead right here, tie knot, pass through this bead, and then it would be too hard to weave in through these, so I would have to go up to the top. So I would pass through this rondelle, and let's see, come through here, tie knot, pass through this bead. I could tie knot here, pass through this bead, go through this one, go through this one. I could tie knot here, go through that one. So I would weave through these going this direction. So through this bead going like this. So you're kind of like going up and down, or maybe it's more like a wave going through these beads, tying knots. And just use up as much as the thread as you can because it really reinforces the pendant. It makes it stronger, and I do this with everything I make. So here is how it turned out, and I'm not sure if I want to do a beaded strand. I do have some leftover beads maybe that I could use for this. I don't have any rondelles. I only had 25 of those. I might put this on a silk cord that I got from the dollar bead box. I ordered some more. I got a pink one, a purple one, and an orange one. So The pink and purple, those would probably... Oh, I should do the purple one. Yeah, because these beads here in the center, it'll make those pop more. Because I already have a lot of pink in it. So yeah, I think I'm going to put this onto the silk cord. Or I could also put a gigantic jump ring onto this and put it onto a chain necklace. So there's so many different ways I can use it. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. It was really fun to make. It was really different. Using a pendant this way, beading on top of it. I don't know what made me think of it, but I just wanted to see if it would work, and it did work. Turned out great, and I'm happy with the colors. I love the colors. It's so pretty. So this is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like this video, leave me a comment, subscribe if you want to see more of my videos, and like me on Facebook. And don't forget to share pictures of the jewelry we've made from my videos on my Facebook page, and follow me on Pinterest. Thanks for watching.